Jen, and this is the 2023 Royal Enfield Hunter 350. The Hunter rounds out the trifecta of 350cc motorcycles from Royal Enfield, joining the likes of the Meteor and the Classic. It has a single-cylinder 349cc air oil-cooled engine that puts out around 20 horsepower with a top speed around 75 to 80 miles per hour. It has a 31-inch seat height, weighs just under 400 pounds, and has a 3.4-gallon gas tank. And it prices in just under $4,000. Most riders are curious as to how the Hunter 350 is different from, say, the Classic 350 or the Meteor 350. Where the Hunter makes its distinction is in its stiffer suspension settings, a Harris Performance-built chassis, a lighter curb weight, and some tweaks to the engine character and geometry of the bike for more agility and performance. The Hunter also stands out from a styling perspective. The Classic model is focused on a faithful recreation of vintage motorcycles. The Meteor aims to capture that traditional cruiser look, and the Hunter has an emphasis on the modern part of a modern retro roadster. It kind of does look like a mini Triumph Speed Twin or something of that nature. When we talked to the designers of the Royal Enfield Hunter 350, they did go back in time and actually did a lot of concept sketches on top of chassis from yesteryear. So the fact it has that stance and look to it totally makes sense, and it's kind of amazing that designs from back then can still have a lot of appeal in today's age. This is a really clean platform. I've already seen online there's a bunch of customizations happening. There's a lot of scrambler off-road type styles, and that's something I really like. It evoked some feelings in me of my vintage Honda CB360. It's going to be a platform that a lot of riders can make a lot of neat changes to for a really affordable price. I would say when it just comes to the finer details of this bike, it could use a little bit more tidying up with some of the wires and how things are placed. But other than that, I think the overall curb appeal is pretty spot on. It's where the Hunter 350 really stands out, compared to its siblings, say the Classic or the Meteor, is in its performance and agility. I do think the 17-inch tire on the Hunter definitely gives it a sharper turn-in for cornering, especially compared to the Meteor that has a 19-inch front wheel. Something that really stood out to me was the range of motion in the headstock here. If there's ever a bike that could literally turn on a dime, then this has to be it. Combined with a light curb weight, low central mass, and the fact that I can feel flat-footed on this bike, I feel like I can maneuver this bike anywhere. For sure, the stiffer suspension helps in the quickness of cornering on the city streets, but when you hit a pothole dead on, you are going to feel it. Out on the canyon roads, pushing the Hunter to its limits in fast corners didn't inspire with the same confidence as the city ride did, but it was still capable of a fun, moderate pace. The Hunter 350 is going to be using that J1 platform engine power plant that you see in the Meteor or in the Classic. There's just been very slight changes that gives it a little bit of a spunkier feel to it, especially compared to the Meteor. A new airbox, exhaust system, and different gearing for the new sized wheels do make a noticeable change in the Hunter's character. It has a fiery pep to it, especially getting into second gear and taking off. It was kind of surprising and exciting to see that out of this bike. Royal Enfield has designed the Hunter 350 not only to bring new riders to their brand, but new riders to the world of motorcycling in general. Even if it is an entry-level bike, they still take a lot of pride and a lot of careful attention to detail when they build these bikes. I wish this was a motorcycle that was around when I was a new rider. I would have felt really cool on this bike. All right, so that's gonna do it. That is a full roundup there on the first ride review on the Royal Enfield Hunter 350. If you want to learn more about this motorcycle, head on over to Common Tread where you can read my full write-up. As always, I want to thank you for watching. I'm Jen. Keep it on 2.